Bonjour, c'est Clara French in the Midlands. Today's video is about how to translate to go for in French. You can never translate it literally, so I'll give you several examples of how you can translate it. Now, before we go any further, I just want to remind you that you can claim your free ebook, The 12 Golden Rules of French, at the link in the description. It's a short ebook that's packed with tips and tricks on how to sound like a native French speaker. Now, the first mistake I hear a lot is when people want to translate to go out for a meal or to eat out. And the translation in French is aller au restaurant. You don't go out for anything in French, you go somewhere. For instance, la semaine dernière, on est allé au restaurant. Or you could say la semaine dernière, on est allé au restaurant. You can link here if you want. Which is last week we went out for a meal. See, to go out for a meal is too vague in French. You've got to say where you went. You should not say sortir pour un repas. That's a literal translation of to go out for a meal, and it really does not mean anything. If you said that to a French person, they actually wouldn't know what you mean. Now, a similar mistake is when you want to translate to go for a Chinese, for instance, to go for a Chinese meal. You have to say manger chinois or aller au restaurant chinois, depending on what you want to say. So if you want to go and get a Chinese takeaway, you could say on mange chinois ce soir. That usually means a takeaway. Now, if you want to go to the Chinese restaurant, you could say on mange au restaurant chinois ce soir. And they both mean, shall we go for a Chinese tonight? But on no account should you say on va pour un chinois. It really doesn't mean anything. Now, the same rule applies when you want to go for a drive or to drive around. You need to say faire un tour en voiture or faire une promenade en voiture if you like. For instance, ce matin, elle a fait un tour en voiture dans le quartier. This morning she went for a drive in the area. On no account should you say elle est allée pour conduire. Absolutely meaningless. Exactly the same thing happens when you want to translate to go for a walk. In French, faire une promenade. Now, since you're walking, you don't need to specify what the promenade is about. We assume it's on foot. Une promenade en voiture, you're specifying it's with the car, so it's fine. But une promenade on its own, I'm assuming you're walking. On fait une promenade? Shall we go for a walk? Or shall we have a walk? You see how in French we don't have the construction shall we. We're much more direct. We actually say we doing a walk? And that's it. There's no shall we in French. Remember that one. No way should you say on va pour marcher. Really, it does not mean anything in French. So get this out of your head. Now, if you want to go for a ride, say a bike ride, a motorbike ride, same thing happens. Faire une promenade à vélo or à moto. For instance, j'ai envie de faire une promenade à vélo aujourd'hui. I fancy going for a bike ride today. You should never ever say j'ai envie d'aller pour une promenade à vélo. This time I'd understand what you mean, but it's really wrong to put aller and pour together. Because aller in French, you need a destination after aller. And you don't have one here. You're sticking a pour there and people will be thinking, what does that even mean? So avoid that like the plague. And that's it for now. Thank you for watching. And if you have any questions, leave a comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. À bientôt.